Good morning. Hope you're having fun today. It is JJ's birthday. Today, let's see, he was born in 1979. This is 2022, so he is now officially 43 years old. Happy birthday, my youngest son, JJ. In addition to that, what do we have going today? Today I'll be going to a place called Osteo Strong, Midtown Dallas, which is kind of funny since it's on Preston Road, just barely south of LBJ, Route 635 in Dallas. What do we do at Osteo Strong? Highly recommend you take a look at it. Basically, you push, simulating a bench press, but just basically the lockout part of it, and you press against a couple of different hand grips, which are apparently attached to some sort of a computer measurement mechanism, and it records it and lets you know how you did based on that particular day and compares it to the last time and the best, just to see if you're making progress in terms of strength. And after that, you line up to do a leg press on another machine, and that again does the same thing where you put the little fob into your phone number, and it tells you again after you just warm up a little bit, just wear the press, then press as hard as you can without straining yourself. You hold that for about 3 or 4 seconds, maybe even 5. Then you get out of that one, and then you go into it's called core strength, but it seems more like a glorified pull-up, where your legs are underneath some pads so you don't pop out of the chair when you're pulling up, and you kind of lean over forward and pull. And again, same measurement technique. Then lastly, it's a deadlift. A deadlift is where you kind of bend over picking up a book, or bend over picking up some groceries, or bend over pick up your keys after you've just dropped them, and then pull as hard as you can to see if you've made any progress. That seems to be the one where I've made the least progress. It's only about 12 or 15% since I first started about 10 sessions ago. The bench press one is up about 35 or 41%, which is astounding. Then when I go to the regular gym, which I do about 3 days a week, not about 3 days a week, but 3 days a week, I have noticed some additional strength, but I'm not trying to set new personal records. And you might ask, what the heck are you doing that for? In addition to the pushing and pulling mechanisms at Osteo Strong, they also have a thing called a biocharger, which has different lights that come on to redo your system, which is of some consequence, whether it's inflammation or stiff joints or bone density and the like, and it's all menu. In addition to that, it has some things that you pull over your legs, and it kind of not massages them, but kind of pushes the blood back up your legs, and that's kind of fun to do. The one that I like the very best is when you lay on this massage, basically lounge looking thing, and it does a hydro massage for about 7 minutes. That's great fun. And then the last thing that I normally will do is the red light therapy. And one of these days I need to look up and find out what in the heck red light therapy is supposed to do for us. Now, what does this almost 75-year-old guy think he's going to accomplish with all this? Well, in my case, what I was really looking for was increasing bone density. According to my AFIT scale, my bone density is at 5.7. It should be at 6.0. Again, I'm going to look that up to find out what that actually means, and you'll forgive the twinkle I have in my eye associated with that. Yesterday, I received a bill from Chase, from the world of Hyatt, for $95, and I was curious because I didn't remember spending any money with Hyatt, and it turned out to be the annual membership fee. And I thought, gee willikers, when was the last time I had stayed at a Hyatt? Now, it used to be when I went out to California to visit CEG Worldwide, which I've not done in a couple of years, I would stay at a Hyatt. Occasionally when I would go down to Houston to Strategic Coach, I would stay at a Hyatt. But God bless America, I have not seemed to stay at a Hyatt and use my 60,000 points, whatever that means, nor my free night at a Hyatt, which expires every year. So I asked if those nights were cumulative to the nice lady Ashley on the other end of the phone when I called about this account. And she said, nope, they expire every year. And I said, gee, I don't even recall receiving a certificate to stay at a Hyatt for free for one evening. So she looked that up and said, I'm sorry, I don't have access to that. You'd have to call the World of Hyatt to find out that information. So I simply canceled the card. Why did I do that? You're going to find as you get more white hair and a little bit more seasoned that you try, at least I recommend to people, and I'm following that recommendation for myself also, that as you try and simplify your life, so cut down on the number of credit cards you have, cut down on the number of accounts you have to make life that much easier to track. Also, in my case, with lots of passwords and scrambling and the like, I have most of my information on a computer in the cloud. What's the point of all that? We do that in an effort to have things paid automatically, whether it's our electric bill. And yes, our electric bill did go up like crazy. We've noticed that we have been more conscious of lights, temperature level in our home, and the like. So we've cut back on how many kilowatt hours we are using. Although last month we managed to spend $659 on electrical power, and we were very thankful to have had the electrical power. But again, cutting back on the number of credit cards you have, adjusting temperature, making sure that everything that is doors are closed, and you're keeping your house as efficient as humanly possible, and filters up to date is handy as well. We also like having green grass. So we still have our sprinkler system that goes on legally on a regular basis and enjoy doing that. And for those of you who have watched what I have broadcast in the recent past, you'll know that I really love growing plants. And our lantana is flourishing. Our basil seems to be coming back. I'm sad that we lost all our rosemary, and as soon as that becomes available again, I will plant some more rosemary. Also this year I plan to experiment and see if I can grow some basil indoors. Plus Susie has had some inflammation flare up, and I'd like to go ahead and figure out how in fact we can treat that with food alternatives as opposed to drugs, since every time we use drugs or read about using drugs, it seems to be more trouble than it is worth. This is John Checky, co-founder of Checky Financial, wishing my son a happy, joyous birthday. Sorry that you guys are not hosting a party, but I understand you're going through the grief process since your mother-in-law, Krista's mom, passed away last month or early this month. Closing thoughts. It is the ending part of summer here in Texas, kids going back to school. I can see sap falling off the pink tree that I like seeing if I can find a hummingbird feeding themselves in the branches, and I don't see any today, which is just one of those things. Lantana's still doing what it's doing, blooming, but not quite as much as Susie would like to see it blooming. And I've done my best to hold this camera in such a way that you're looking down at me or straight at me as opposed to up at me, seeing things that nobody really wants to see. Have fun, be well, look forward to seeing you sooner and later.